I suppose when we're all younger, we kind of think, oh, we'll do that tomorrow, we'll do that later. And I guess you had this experience where you're like, yeah, I need to really make this happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it was COVID times, and I was in training for a half marathon. Used to be doing a lot of running at the time, and then all of a sudden I would just get out of breath, just walking up a hill, never mind running. So lots of, and I just thought, oh, long COVID, this will pass. Couldn't get face to face with a doctor at the time. It was all like phone calls, and it was just, oh, yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. Long COVID, yeah. And I eventually got to see a doctor in person, and they kind of did some little tests and, felt my pulse and went, you need to go to A&E right now, which was a bit of a shock at the time. But I went there, and at the end of that day, they said, this is what's wrong with you. This is how we're going to fix it. So it was heart arrhythmia. I was booked in for an operation, which happened very, very quickly. But I tell you what, Matt, when you were on a cardiology ward, there's a lot you see there. There is a lot going on. There's a lot of very, very ill people who are, probably not going to make it through the night, people who are, going to be fortunate and like myself. But you see a lot, and it really does make you think about, your life and mortality. And I just, at that point, it really, really did kickstart everything in terms of this, this Sea of Days project. So it was a life-changing moment in lots of ways. If I've got limited time, I think I alluded to this before, what do I want to be doing with that time? And obviously, family, loved ones, and so on is so important. But in terms of, being a creative person, I need to create now. There's no point sort of talking the talk. That's what sort of kickstarted me. And so it was create it and let it go. Let it go out there and let people be the judge. Don't fear kind of what people are going to think about your stuff. It doesn't really matter. It was something I had to do at that point. Yeah. And I'm so glad as well. It's a weird thing to be glad to have had an illness, but so I'm still on medication, still on quite a bit of medication, but had an operation which fixed the issue, the underlying issue. So yeah, I'm in a much, much better place in terms of, health wise, and also creativity. It's really sort of given me that kickstart that I needed, really.
I've had so many thoughts about the end of life, a consequence of failure of the heart. The cardiac ward was a place of hope for me. For some it marked the end, but for me a brand new start. And dying by your side seems a romantic way to go, but I don't want